My name is Scott Haggard. I'm the member at large for the executive board. Certainly happy to be here today. One of the main reasons that we're here today is to honor Congressman John Linder. And I just wanted to say a couple of words about John. My first job out of graduate school when I lived in Washington, D.C. was in Congressman Linder's office. And I'm eternally grateful for the opportunity that he gave me to kind of get my career started. And it really was a great learning experience, and I just valued that opportunity so much. A couple of things that I wanted to say about him, though, that really hit home with me about him. Two of the things that I think he really brought to Congress, one was that he's such a gifted thinker. I was always impressed every time he met with constituents or groups that came into the office. Right off the bat, he would challenge them about what they were asking for. You know, as you know, so many people come to Washington with their hands out, you know, just wanting money. And they just think that if they go into the office and say to the congressman, we need money for this and this and this. There's a lot of congressmen who will say, okay, that sounds good. Congressman Linder was always somebody who said, well, why do you need this? I mean, what is this going to be for? And he would challenge them, and I think it caught a lot of people off guard. But it really added to the process, and I think it really made people think about why they were there asking for what they were asking for. The other thing that really impressed me about him was his dedication to the process. And one of the things that really, that a lot of people don't know, is that during the time that he served on the Rules Committee, which was really the most powerful committee in the House, because it kind of regulated which bills came to the floor and how they could be amended and that kind of thing. There were so many meetings of that committee late at night. There would be meetings at 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning where all the members would have to go because, there would be an important issue that would be up. And Congressman Linder, every meeting faithfully went. It was something that, and a lot of members would not want to serve on that committee just because it would be an inconvenience to their lifestyle. But that was something that he really thought was important to the process. And that really impressed me. There are not a lot of people who would serve in Congress and endure the things they have to endure for as long as he did and actually, believe that they're doing the right thing for the country. And I really congratulate him on that. So I appreciate that. One of the things that we thought we would do, as Bruce said, we're going to have an opportunity here for anybody who would like to come make some comments for Congressman Linder for a video that we're going to submit to him. But since we got so many people here today, and some people might not be able to hear a few things about the congressman, we thought we might have a couple of speakers who would come up and make a few comments who've known the congressman for so long, who might have a few valuable insights into his career. So the first person we wanted to have up is Ben Satterfield. Ben's been a longtime member of the Gwinnett Republican Party, has known Congressman Linder for many years, and I'm sure we'll enjoy what he has to say.
No, I'm not going to tell anything about that, John. I have had the privilege of knowing John for many years. He is a dear friend. He is a gifted politician, and he is one of the greatest Americans I've ever met. I could tell stories about the things that he and I have went through in the Republican Party when we revamped it, and it wouldn't be what it is today if it hadn't been for the leadership of John Linder, and we owe him a debt of gratitude. And John, I love you, I appreciate you, and I hope you really use that rocking chair down there in Mississippi.
Thank you, Ben. The next person that we'd like to have up is Joan Zellner, who's been a longtime member of the Gwinnett County Republican Party and the Executive Committee. She's currently on the Gwinnett Elections Board, and we just appreciate her so much.
Thank you. Well, John, when you announced that you were retiring, I sat there and teared up. It was not knowing what was going to happen, losing you as our representative, because for me personally, you had been the perfect representative. We didn't have to worry about how you were going to vote on things, and keep in constant contact and harass you all the time. And not only that, but I felt like I was losing a friend who was going to be close by. I know you're still around, but you're a long way off. But one good thing you did for us, you prepared your successor. And we're very happy with that successor so far. We're going to keep his feet to the fire, too. But I do consider you a friend, and we do miss you, and it's just great to see you. But thank you for everything you did for us all those years. Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. We're also going to bring up he's the second vice chairman for the state Georgia Republican Party, but he has been involved in the Gwinnett County Party and the 7th District Party for many years. We're happy to have him in our own county here, and that's Mr. B.J. Van Gundy.
I was hit with, when they asked me to do this, all I could think was kind of funny moments and things to run through real quick, so I'm going to do a little chronology here of things. But when I was chairman of the Gwinnett Republican Party, and as has been with chairman since me, Congressman Linder is one of the most supportive elected officials out of all of them, even though he's in Washington all week and then comes back. He's always been willing to come to do things, well, mostly willing. Sometimes you have to push him pretty hard and call Derek and say, just go pick him up. But back when Newt first took over in 1995, John was kind of the number 2 guy in that whole thing, and it was pretty amazing to have both the Congressman Linder and Newt Gingrich representing Gwinnett County and get to be the chairman of this county and have both of those gentlemen come to a Gwinnett County Republican Party meeting. I remember one at our headquarters over on Pleasant Hill. Both of these guys were there. And I always took great pleasure, and it always annoyed Congressman Linder, so I'll do it one more time, is I always loved to introduce, John came first because Newt was the speaker, but I always loved to introduce John as the reason that Newt Gingrich was the second smartest man in Congress. And Newt laughed, but John always said, cut that out. In 1996, I go back to probably the only thing I ever argued with John about, and I'm with him 1,000% on it now, and Rob, but Joan Zellner, who you just saw a minute ago, and I wrote a letter to John Linder in 1996 about the fair tax. So any of y'all that are new to the fair tax, it's been going on a long time, and Joan's in my letter was not a favorable one at the time. But the fair tax was a somewhat new thing, and they've taken care of those issues, and I'm 1,000% behind it as we speak. As was mentioned by Scott, John Linder's a man of all hours. I was going to mention when he was on the Rules Committee, you could flip on the TV and watch C-SPAN. I used to work until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning a lot, and I stopped that because I'm old now. But I'd flip on the TV, and there would be Congressman Linder in the well of the House, ushering bills through. And Rob, you've already been ushering bills through the House and the mechanisms of all those rules they have to negotiate on the floor. But some other interesting things, late night, 3 o'clock in the morning at the Republican National Convention in the lobby of the Marriott, enjoying a great conversation with Congressman Linder at 3 o'clock in the morning. But that's because he's not only a late night guy, as Scott talked about, but he's also an early morning guy. Like in 2002, when it was announced that Bob Barr was going to be running for the 7th District congressional race, and my wife, the phone rang at 7 a.m. on a Sunday morning, and my wife rolled over and said, honey, it's some guy that says he's Congressman Linder. And I thought it was just another one of y'all calling and saying, yes, it's the president. And then I went, yeah? Who's this? He goes, it's Congressman Linder. I recognize his voice. Y'all that know his voice, it's a different voice. And he asked me if I was with him. And I said, yes, sir. Now I'm going to hang up and go back to bed and call some people you actually doubt. There was no doubt I was going to be with Congressman Linder in that race. And it was the most fun I've ever had doing any campaign, and it was just a great time. And the only tough part about that campaign was election night, when we couldn't get John. John was still at his house, which is just across from the arena and the Gwinnett Civic Center, and the victory party was over at the Gwinnett Civic Center, and it was 7:30. And so I think I called over there 2 times, maybe 3 times. I had to call Derek and say, go get John, because he's going to miss the fact that it's going to be declared for him any second now already at 7:30, and we ended up winning that 64-36. The one other thing that I think was funny over the years was a houseboat party, and I don't remember what year we did that. I think we did that August of 2002. Mike's laughing. Had a big party on a houseboat. My parents have a 90-foot houseboat up on Lake Lanier, and we had about, 60, 70 people up there. Had a great time out on the lake, just cruising around and this stuff, and I've got a very nice pictures of Mike and Congressman Linder and I on the mantle, and just cruising around, and it was nice right up until a pirate ship pulled up next to us with a water balloon launcher, and they had no idea we had a congressman on the boat, but a bunch of drunks, and they just decided to start, yeah, on their boat, a bunch of drunks on their boat, and they started launching water balloons at us. And Mark Roundtree, I remember, was sitting in it had a big recliner downstairs, holding his brand new baby, and one of the balloons came through a screen, actually broke the screen on the boat, came through and landed on him and soaked him. But we thought we were trying to figure out what kind of federal laws were getting broken and, that kind of thing. But anyway, John, we had a great time at your birthday party in 2006, the surprise birthday party, and I won't say what you called me for throwing you a surprise birthday party that actually was a surprise. But I want to thank y'all all for coming, and thank you, Congressman Linder, for being our congressman.